Glow Cosmetics, where glowing skin is always in.
Bad Intentions Tattoos, specializing in 3D and realistic tattoos. And don't forget the piercings. Proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. Located at 103 Broadway, Newark, New Jersey. Instagram at Bad Intentions with the Z _ 103 Broadway. Hashtag Bad Intentions.
Just the other day, I was talking to the weatherman about today. I know all they could say was no one knows tomorrow. See, I can read the weather child, I can tell me be the river for the sunshine. Well, that's as far as my guess goes, 'cause no one knows tomorrow. No one knows tomorrow. Time it wasn't need to go to war. All the kidding just to settle someone else's score. But the future isn't even sure. No one knows tomorrow. So we can study history and philosophy and place ideology. But tomorrow's a mystery. No one knows tomorrow. No one knows tomorrow. No one knows tomorrow. No one knows tomorrow. Tomorrow is your opportunity to fail or be successful if you please. Yes, indeed. Tomorrow is a politician's today. Is the victim of decisions and the future of our children. So when I die someday, will I be in heavenly places singing hallelujah with an angel on the piano? Or will I be just another contribution to the earth, the trees, the grasses, as tomorrow slowly passes? No one knows, 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 no one knows. So when I die someday, will I be in heavenly places singing hallelujah with an angel on the piano? Or will I be just another contribution to the earth, the trees, the grasses, as the tomorrow slowly passes? No one knows, no one knows, no one knows, no one Woke up early this morning with a smile on my face. Thought you were next to me, but then I see you walking away. Something alright this morning. Is it a sign he's leaving me? So I call on a friend whom I know better than me. She says you worry much about things you don't understand, but don't give up if it doesn't go with the plan. life is short, do what you can today. Why can't we be happy? Why can't we be happy? What is life about? Did nobody tell you? The reason why I ask, I can see you're so confused. Oh, you worry much about the things you can't see. You have it all, but your money is to complain. Why not live this life while you're still young and still okay? 'Cause life is short, do what you can today. Why can't we be happy? Why can't we be happy? Tell me, why can't we be happy? Why can't we be happy? Why can't we be happy? Tell me, why can't we be loving? Why can't we be smiling? Why can't we be leaving? Tell me, why can't we be smiling? And why can't we be happy? Oh, why can't we be Why can't we be loving?
Hello everyone, good to be back this beautiful Saturday afternoon. My name is Mary and we are on Nonfiction Radio. I'm presenting to you Success Today. As usual, if you've been hanging out with us every Saturday, you know that this is what we do between the hours of 12 to 2 p.m. And we sincerely appreciate all your feedbacks. Of course, I'm in studio with Dr. King and we appreciate all your feedbacks. We appreciate you hanging out with us, holding it down. I mean, it's always a very beautiful time. It means so much to me. It really means so much to me, you know. You know, it's one thing to come on air. It's another thing to know that you are being listened to, and it means a whole lot. It means a whole lot. Thank you so much for the feedbacks. I repeat that. Yeah, a number of you get back to me and, you know, I listened. Okay, is this, is that. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. Thanks to our studio manager for always being here. Our engineer, thank you so much. We appreciate you truly. Okay, last week we had a couple of things we discussed. And a number of questions came up as well, you know, based on those things that we discussed. Okay, so very quickly, I'm going to run through some of those things we talked about, and then we get to discuss those questions that were asked, and then we'll see how we can, okay, I was going to say answer them all, but what if we don't get to answer them all? What if at the end of the day, some of you feel they were not well answered? Like, okay, so what do we do? But then we're just going to try. We give our own opinions to those questions, as much as some of you do have your own opinions to the questions. And we expect that when we'll be receiving feedbacks on some of the questions, because some of you may have better answers, if we should say it that way, better answers than what we'll be giving. So, we hope we'll do this together and then have a great one. Okay, so we talked about workplace mental health, we talked about daily success strategies, and then the different things that will kill your career. We couldn't touch all 9. We're expecting that we're going to treat all 9, and we couldn't get to treat all of them, but then we try to cover quite a number of them. Okay, so we talked about taking time for reflection, regularly sharing your thoughts, and being open for feedback. We talked about trying new things, like moving out of your comfort zone. We talked about speaking up and standing up for yourself. We took our time to really break this down, because we don't want you to go talk back at your boss anyhow and say, yeah, I need to speak up and stand up for myself. Okay, so we talked about we looked at a bit from Sherry Campbell, our beautiful psychologist, and she says, always stay ahead, no one succeeds coming from behind. Yeah, that was a very beautiful one that we discussed there. We looked at success comes from down to starting strong. Success comes down from starting strong, staying organized, and being consistent. Yeah, you want to be successful? It starts from coming strong, staying organized, and being consistent. Then we talked about to succeed, you must create a healthy balance between your personal life and career life. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A number of us get to mix up our personal life with our career life, mix up everything, and then when it's all messed up, we look for where to visit our problems. Oh, my God. Okay, then we talked about avoiding procrastination, embracing your mistakes and not giving up, and then make some time for fun. And that fun shouldn't affect your work hours. Okay, nice one. And then we looked at the 9 things that could kill your career. From this very point, although, mind you, we didn't cover all the 9, but from this very segment, we had quite a number of questions from here, especially. And it is those questions that give birth to our topic for today. Yeah, a number of them. We have, it says, over-promising and under-delivering. Wow, we really hit on this. It was really a big one. Talked about that. Talked about not learning a new skill and how it can kill your career. We talked about the fear of change. We talked about ego, a bit of ego, of which I will really want us to discuss more on that. We talked about losing sight of the big picture. Yeah, and then I think that was where we stopped. We didn't get to talk about negativity. We didn't get to talk about low emotional intelligence. We didn't talk about playing politics. Of course, we mentioned these points, but we didn't get to break them down. So I will actually want us, because quite a number of questions came from this. So I want us to look at losing sight of the big picture, fear of change, negativity, low emotional intelligence, and playing politics around your career and everything. So we're going to be discussing that briefly before we move to our topic for today. Okay, so can we start with fear of change? Dr. King, you want to start with fear of change? Because we had quite a number of questions coming from there on the topics that we part of what we discussed last week. So remember, we talked about things that kill your career, and then a question came up from fear of change. But instead of treating just the question, I want us to probably explain again, like, okay, what fear of change means and how it kills your career, how losing sight of the big picture kills your career, negativity, how it kills your career, lower emotional intelligence, playing politics, and ego, of course. So we'll take you one after the other. You want to start? Fear of change.
Okay. Hi, guys. How's been your day? I want to believe, starting that success in life is all about change. The greatest room in life is room for personal development. And once we are afraid to embrace change, I think I said it last week, when you are afraid of change, change will change you. It's just a matter of time. When you look at, of course, we're not trying to magnify some of the products, but look at some of the gadgets that have changed our life. You see, all of a sudden, you see the iPhones coming up with new brands, coming up with new technology, coming up with new tools, new things that are going to make this life look more beautiful. Now, if these guys had stayed on their last product that took them to a very high level and a big turnover for the shareholders and for the company as a whole. Now, if they are afraid of making deliberate change, I'm telling you, they will get stuck. And all of a sudden, some new companies will just come up and they will take it up from them. And so what I'm saying is this. Number one, change is inevitable. Take note of that. Change is inevitable. One way or the other. Even when you look at your body, you see, when you are a teenager, now you're an adolescent, now you are a youth, somehow you become a young adult, then before you know it, you grow to your middle age, you see that so many futures are changing on our body. All of us, also, sometimes you see, even our futures, all of a sudden I begin to see my mustache, there are white beards on my head, there are white beards. Now, these are things that were not there some few years ago. In fact, some few months ago, they may not be there, but all of a sudden you see changes taking place. And so whether we like it or not, this thing called change is something that we must learn to embrace. I think I said it last week that you must face your fear. That is the biggest thing that every one of us must be able to confront. We must face our fear. If you don't change, you will live in chain. And so we have to look at it, which one do I want to do? Do I want to live in chain or I want to change? And this change is going to happen somewhere along the line. Of course, we also have to look at it holistically when embracing change. You don't just jump into making decisions, and probably that may lead to the second point that you mentioned, which is the big picture. I think most changes that we are trying to do should align with the big picture that we have. And so this thing called big picture has a lot to do with where we are going per time, the kind of things we want to do with our life. If you have a picture of a preferable future, then you will not run away from change, because definitely what brought you here at this present level of your life is not what is going to take you there, the next level of your life. And so the big picture is something that we eventually keep asking for change from us. If you are going to fulfill your dream, if you're going to achieve your aspiration, if you are going to get to that level of success that you have dreamt of in whatever field that you have chosen for yourself, then the big picture and change must intertwine. Now, going to politics. Politics is normal. It's part of our life. We have to, probably we may enlarge that, we may look at it from some other scope, but politics, positive, politics, negative. Because politics has to do with dealing with people, achieving your goals, and intertwine with people. In the process of achieving the things that you want to do with your life, you are going to end up having to do politics in every area of our life. And so there are negative ones like pulling people down. No, we shouldn't do that, because what goes around will always comes around. And so, but for positive ones Like you have to win this person's heart to be part of your dream. You have to win that person's heart to be part of the dream, part of the goal, part of the things that you are trying to do. You are going to eventually have to probably also offer some things on the table that is going to appeal to their emotion. And so many a times, these are things that when you join them together, we have to look at it from the positive side, from the negative side. Then ego. Ego is one big problem. There was a story of a lady that was being told some days ago. She was supposed to have this document that is going to add value to her life, but they've told her about the person who's going to really help her out, that she's proud, the person is, she feels too high of herself. She used to look like as if to say she's all high and mighty. And so, based on the things that they've said to her, her ego rises up and said, I'm not going to ask this person for anything. And for 13 months, what she ought to have gotten from the early stage of processing had to wait for 13 months. Then somebody had to now talk somehow onto this person and say, look, this person they will say, why? This person should have come up to me. And probably when they now merge them together, they make them to have a meeting. He said, well, I should have come all this while, but he said, I just have to confess, I was just full of myself. I just felt like they told me you are this, they told me you are that, they told me you are this. They told you, you haven't asked me. Probably I may have issue with the person who have said this and this to you, but I never knew all of these things. And so, but for her own, her ego shut her in and she will never ask until after 13 months. So please, listeners out there, I said the other day about there are 13 positive attitudes and there are negative attitudes. Ego is one of those negative attitudes that's going to pull us down, that will not allow us to get to where we are going at the pace at which we ought to move to get there. So there are things that we need to work on upon ourselves. You know, I know change in every area of our life is not always easy. Sometimes it comes at a price. Sometimes it may be painful. But I know that one of the major change that we need to do, which is really, really important, is this area of our life that has to do with ego, that has to do with probably the way we look at ourselves, that we need to work upon. So probably let me just round it off there, then you can take it off if probably there are other things that we've not talked about.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope we have gotten more from that. I mean, this was stuff we discussed last week, although, like I said, we didn't touch some of them as a result of time. So I hope we have gotten something from that now. Okay, today we want to talk about protection against unexpected job loss. And like I said, I am most grateful for your feedback because this topic came as a result of somebody, suggesting that why, trying to compare. Okay, let me put it this way. She was talking about a job loss. And she was mixing it all up and saying she's lost her career. And I'm like, you don't lose your career. How can you lose your career? In most cases, your career comes as a result of the many skills you have learned, so many things you're able to do. You can lose a job, yeah, but you cannot lose your skill. And a career is, you have quite a number of opportunities around you, employment opportunities, quite a number. It means because you have that in you, you're able to go out there and do a particular thing with yourself. You understand you have that gift, you have that talent, or you have that skill in you. So it's not easy to just lose out on it. I mean, you lose one job and then you search. You definitely get another because you already have that skill. I mean, nobody can take that from you, but you can lose a job. You understand? You can lose a job. No, you can lose your skill, except you probably didn't even put mind in learning anything. You just probably went there for, or tried to learn that skill for the sake of learning. You didn't put it into practice. And after a while, it gets out of you, of which we don't expect. Yeah. So, okay. So in talking about unexpected job loss, you know, the lady asked the question, and I thought of sharing this first. The more steps you take to improve your professional stability, the more likely it is that you'll be able to weather any professional storm. So you see, back to what I'm saying, you take more steps to improve your professional stability. Come to think of it, no matter the kind of storm that comes in your profession, in your career, in your job, you see that you can weather the storm and then, you know, take the next leap and move on, you know. But once you don't improve yourself, I mean, it's going to be a big issue for you, a big loss for you, because you find yourself struggling in the marketplace, struggling like you have got nothing, whereas you just shot yourself in the leg. Okay, so this very lady, in the process of her questions, you know, two persons gave their responses. One person said, have an emergency fund. You know, that was his response. You know, my own singular response to this is develop yourself professionally. Have wonderful skills. Once you have this, nobody can shake you. Yeah. But some of the responses, someone said have emergency fund, and we're going to be discussing all of those responses. You know, have an emergency fund. Like, okay, so just be prepared. Anytime you could lose your job, and then what do you do? Well, to me, yeah, you may want to have an emergency fund somewhere stocked up so that you don't get stranded. But if you ask me, I don't think fund should be number one. I think number one should be your skill. That's my opinion. Don't forget. Okay, so we're going to be discussing this with Dr. King. I just want to mention all the points that you guys gave. And then someone said build a strong professional network. I totally agree with this. You have to build a strong professional network. Yeah, you have to. I mean, once you have this, nobody can take this away from you. You lose a job, before the blink of an eye, another one is opening, another opportunity is there. So the next says, engage in job-worthy tasks. Okay, this person was just saying that you don't even need to think about losing your job. If you engage in job-worthy tasks, your employer is going to be appreciative of that and be like, no, there's nothing that is going to happen. Even if your company is downsizing, there's nothing that is going to happen that will affect you. Okay, then we have get educated. Yeah, this was my own opinion. Yeah, I put it under. I said, get educated, especially if it's cheap or free. Just get it. It still boils down to the skill we're talking about. Please, just get something. Get a skill, like have something. No one can take it away from you. They can take your job. They can take their job. They can take anything, but they can't take away your skill. They can take away your education. It's there. Is there with you. No one can take it away. No knowledge. It's lost. Once it's there, it's yours. Okay, so we have be a leader. Someone put this there, and then another said avoid being a negative influence, and then have another means of income by the side. She actually put, sorry, he was a he that responded to this, and he said have a side gig. That was how he put it. Have a side gig, like another means of income, so you're not taken by surprise. Okay, so want to answer this lady's question, and we want to help them understand how they can protect themselves against unexpected job loss. You know, you're not expecting it. It just comes suddenly because, of course, you're not the owner of the job. The owner can decide to take his or her job at any time, and then there's nothing you can do. All you need to do is Just walk away. I mean, you can protest it, but if your employer says no, I'm not taking you anymore, I don't need you here. So what are you gonna do? Will you stay there and be crying over spilled milk? No, you're gonna walk away, move on with your life. So want to talk about that, how to protect yourself against unexpected job loss.
Okay, I think what we need to start with is we need to ask ourselves sometimes some very deep questions. Why do we lose our jobs? Apart from downsizing, we are in this economy that is growing very fast. Jobs are being created every month all over America. The economy is doing very well. It may not be extremely well, but it's doing above average. Quite a number of people are getting jobs. We are in the season that more companies, more organizations are having so much to do in this season before we get to the winter season, when it may be a little bit lower on the job market. But just like we said, now, right now when there's so much available in the market, why do you lose your job? First, you need to look inward. People lose their job probably if they play truancy with their job, they feel like nobody can replace me attitude, I'm indisposable, probably I've got too much closeness with the boss or all of those kind of stuff. Now, but the emphasis for me is to first look at why do people lose their job? Why do they lose the things that they are doing? Now, so if you keep improving on yourself and you are adding value to the organization, you will be on the A list. So that's the first for me. I need to be on the A list in every organization. In everywhere I find myself, I need to be on the A list. And that should be one of the things that people should keep to their mind. That means you have to learn how to do more than is required from you. Most people want to just get it done at probably the amount they have been paid. I'm paid XY amount of dollar per hour, and that's what I'm going to do. Now, for you, if you are going to be there on top of your game in the marketplace, please learn to do more than what is required from you. If you learn to do more than what is required, that doesn't mean that you are cheap. It just shows you that you are more valuable to the organization. And so if we can all work on that area, becoming more, adding more value. If I have people around me who are adding more value, if we are becoming more, oh my God, I would love to hang out with such people even after work, And so that is one. Two.
Okay, I think I'm just going to cut you. Sorry.
Okay.
Before we move to point 2, I would want us to take 2 songs just to entertain ourselves. And then when we're back, we'll continue with the points that Dr. King will be raising here. So we'll take 2 songs, and when we're back, we'll continue.
Avor Couture Clothing Line Boutique, proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM, located at 134 Evergreen Place, East Orange, New Jersey, Suite 904. Contact them via Instagram at avor_couture or www.shopavor.bigcartel.com.
Carrera.
St. James Gate Public House, located at 167 Maplewood Avenue, Maplewood, New Jersey. Proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. www.stjamesgatepublichouse.com. 973-378-2222. Best guest this side of the pond.
Bello Credit, specializing in collections, liens, bankruptcies, and foreclosures. Proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. Contact them at www.repair@bellocredit.com. Area code 631-248-4071. Financial freedom. Now that's Bello.
Orange Juice Barn Outdoor Cafe, located at 189 Main Street, Orange, New Jersey. Proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. Instagram, orange.juice.bar. Smoothies, shakes, and health.
Golden Glow Cosmetics, specializing in handmade soaps and beauty cosmetics. Proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. You can follow them on Instagram at GoldenGlow_COS. Golden Glow Cosmetics, where glowing skin is always in.
Cigars, proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. You can visit their website at www.cannonscigars.com, Instagram at Cannon Cigars, via email, e-commerce at cannonscigars.com, and area code 212-390-8476. Fresh, discreet, right to your door.
Intentions Tattoos, specializing in 3D and realistic tattoos. And don't forget the piercings. Proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM, located at 103 Broadway, Newark, New Jersey. Instagram at badintentions with the Z _. 103 Broadway, hashtag bad intentions.
proud sponsor of Nonfiction Radio, WZYE 95.9 FM, specializing in screen printing, vinyl, and embroidery. Located at 134 Evergreen Place in East Orange, New Jersey, Suite 904. Contact Pronto Printing at 973-640-9720 or prontoprinting973@gmail.com. Nonfiction Photo Suite, proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM, Nonfiction Radio. Located at 134 Evergreen Place, Suite 904 in East Orange, New Jersey. Specializing in photography, videography, and print. Nonfiction booking at gmail.com, 862-205-9817. Nonfiction Studios, proud sponsor WZYE 95.9 FM, Nonfiction Radio, specializing in production, mixing, and mastering. Located at 134 Evergreen Place, East Orange, New Jersey, Suite 904. Nonfiction booking at gmail.com, 862-205-9817.
Somebody else.
Humble Smith.
Mr. James Plenty people done the ask. Now which Baba do the jazz? Jerry Baba do well for me. Now my life is done better. Not because I suffer fast. Not because I pray and fast. No be your show, no be jazz. Aquachi. Bossinachi, Kamukwa, Bossinachi, One Bossinachi, Aquachi, Bossinachi, Mama, Bossinachi, Tabife, Bossinachi, Aquachi. I say my property, Sinachi. Say I don't know, Sinachuku. My winning power, Sinachimo. Even my melody, Sinachi. Now they ball, they go Dubai. Everything we see, we buy. Now God doing it, no be lie. Tell Mr. Poverty, who Dubai? Chevy, them they say we no go make. But Oluwa prove them wrong. It's so large my bank account, you. Tell me why I no go shout. Not because I suffer fast. Not because I pray and fast. No be your show, no be jazz. Quite cheap, daily, Bossinachi. Kamukwa, Bossinachi. One Bossinachi, Aquachi, daily, Bossinachi. Mama, Bossinachi. Tabife, Bossinachi, Aquachi. I go name my first daughter, Sinachi. My loving mother, Sinachuku. Promotion letter, Sinachi. Iyawomi, Sinachi. Now we shutting down Malaysia. Every show the boy they conquer. Thank you, Lord, you showed me love. Now I know I'm not alone. I go sing praises from house to church. I go throw party for every town. See my motto, see my mouth. Tell me why I no go shout. Not because I suffer fast. Not because I pray and fast. Not be your show, not be jazz. Aquachi, daily, Bossinachi. Kamukwa, Bossinachi. One Bossinachi, Aquachi, daily, Bossinachi. Mama, Bossinachi. Tabife, Bossinachi, Aquachi.
Iba, ekene lumoli sabine ligwe dali mesino mo biama. One day na ya ni mendo mo iga fona chukwe mego na kabo isacha. God I beg you don't leave me oh. Okwekwe lukwa sini bara kumo. Abo biniwe oh. Wesi mugo libe oh. Wanna kwema no keki neke di koko topo. I'm American toro makan dio go do someday. Fixing the jazz on the boy to my fast. Man a hammer on and goes again I dio go go. Every day in the better. She make it when I'm with this in now when we be friends and my family and fans and I made the money dance. Now one day I'm gonna jazz. As again,
now which Baba do the jazz? Jerry Baba do well for me. Now my life is done better. Not because I suffer fast. Not because I pray and fast. No be your show, no be jazz. Aquachi, Bossinachi. Kamukwa, Bossinachi. One Bossinachi, Aquachi. Bossinachi, Mama, Bossinachi, Tabife, Bossinachi, Aquachi.
Akarakam Sinachi, Humble Sweet, yo, DG Records,
Mixing is in the Foster.
Okay, yeah, welcome back. I hope we got some stuff from what we're discussing before we went on break. You're welcome. My name is Mary, still on Success Today Nonfiction Radio in the studio with Dr. King. Okay, so before we went on a brief short break, we were discussing a few things, and we're just on point 2, talking about protection against unexpected job loss. All right. Just while the break was on, someone was talking about, I just read a feedback. And this feedback is not from today's session, it's from last week. And the person was like, to avoid your career being sabotaged, you should build your personal brand. And I quickly responded that I don't think my career can be sabotaged. I think my job can be. So I hope we have some more time on our hands after discussing all the points on protection against unexpected job loss. If we do have some more time on our hands, then we're going to be talking about developing your personal brand and using that to work against any form of sabotage. Well, I feel any kind of sabotage can only come in your job, not your career. Okay, so let's just move straight to the points. You want to continue, Dr. King?
Okay. Yeah, that's a nice one. Like I said, the first thing is make yourself more valuable. The more valuable you are, the more relevant you become. In fact, I used to say to people, when you are loaded, you are needed. When you are loaded, you are needed. So loading yourself means adding more value to yourself, making yourself more valuable to the organization. Then I wanted to start the second point before we went on a short commercial break. Now, become an entrepreneurial employee. Become an entrepreneurial employee. Now, I always said to myself, life is all about discovering purpose. That employer of yours, the difference between you and the employer is the discovery of something valuable that they place on the table that is needed either by little number of people or large number of people. And it was as a result of this discovery that brought you in to become part of the organization in the first place. So what we need to do, as you're working, become an entrepreneurial employee. Discover new things. There are 2 key words that come with discovery. The first one is creativity, and the second one is innovation. You need to be creative. When I'm working in an organization, I want to bring to the table creative stuff that can add more value. I'm going to come back to helping you protecting job loss. So when you become more creative, you'll discover that creative guys are always needed. And innovation is improving on something creative that someone has done before. When you improve on a creative idea, you improve on a creative product, then you move to innovation. And so when you see companies that are doing very well, there are these 2 books. I recommended it in the new book I'm writing, and I think someone out there listening to me need to read either 1 or 2 of these 2 books. The first one is Build to Last. The second one is Good to Great. The first one is Good to Great. The second one is Build to Last. You need to understand that as an as an employee in any organization, when you become entrepreneurial in your approach to getting things done, it still boils down to what I'm saying. More value will be placed on you. If we need to streamline staff, we don't streamline those people that keep improving upon themselves. The more you improve, the more you develop, the more you become creative, the more you become innovative. Some people say, that's not my company. I don't want to get involved. It's not my business. I'm just here to do my 8 to 5 and I'm out of the place. No, that's a very wrong approach. Become creative, become innovative, keep dropping new stuff on the table of your CEO or your immediate boss. The more you do all of these things, the more you see you are hyping your game. And when you hype your game, you become valuable. Now, let me go back to, there are instances that there are job loss that is not occasioned by your own fault. Like when a company or an organization declare bankruptcy, or probably there's this very big debt that the company cannot pay off and they have to take over the company. And sometimes you have to lay off thousands of employees. Sometimes it may be as a result of poor management decision, you know, that has led to the company losing billions. We can see that all around us in the US right now. There's some companies that you just see all of a sudden, they just close up, you know. I don't want to mention names, but you see, these are things that might actually make people lose their job. It's not as something they want, it's not something they plan for, it's not something they envision. Then, if something like that happened, just like Maria said, probably we'll discuss that next week or some other time. Improve your personal brand. Keep dusting your CV. Keep dusting your resume. Keep posting it online. Keep making yourself, send yourself out there to the marketplace. Tell them, this is what I've done. This is what I've done. I've been part of this great team. I've been part of this great team. Before you know what is happening, somebody out there is looking for the next best guy who is going to add more value. Now, peradventure again, if there are job loss, then you also need to have an emergency fund. Now, emergency fund actually means to discipline yourself in your spending. Now, many of us, the amount we are earning today, we keep saying to ourselves, it's not enough. It's not enough. But the first question I want to ask you is this. When you never had that job, are you able to survive? Yes. How? You live a frugal life. A frugal life. You live below your means. Now that you have the money, you need to also practice these principles. You need to live a frugal life. You need to live below your means. You need to curtail your appetite. Many people, the more they rise in the marketplace or the more they rise in the job, the more their appetite rise, the more their desire for toys rise. And now, these are things that you will need to curtail. You need to work on yourself in a way that you discipline your spending. If you can discipline your spending, it's going to go a long way in helping you. In case there's a loss, you lose your job, then you can fall back to that money that you've been saving. Sometimes you need to put up an insurance policy. Sometimes you need to buy into stocks. Sometimes you need to buy into shares of companies that are doing very well. And sometimes when you lose your job, you might even have to pull some of this stock and say, okay, I put it up for sale so I can have some money to run my life in between before another job comes. And so if you practice these few things, if you practice these few things, if you keep improving yourself, if you become an entrepreneurial employee, if you have emergency fund in case there is one challenge that is beyond the things that you can handle by yourself, then you can fall back to these funds. And when you fall back to these funds, in between that period, you can reposition yourself to take advantage. Over to you, Mary.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, I actually wanted us to discuss the points raised by each of them. We have touched, you have touched, have an emergency fund. Okay, so we have partially touched building a strong professional network. We have touched engage in job-worthy tasks, get educated. I want us to look at be a leader, and then avoid being a negative influence. Yeah, those two. And then having looked at those two, do take notes. Being a leader and then avoiding negative influence. And then after looking at those two, we'll go back to the issue of sabotaging your career or your job. You understand? We try to bring a balance, so at the end of the day we get to answer all questions, both the ones that have been asked, the ones that were not asked, the ones that probably came up indirectly. I think we should just trade as much as we can, so that everyone somehow, somewhere, your concerns are being addressed. We're going to be looking at that personal branding, so we understand how, regardless of whatever sabotage may take place, however, you know that you are prepared for the worst. So, can we look at that?
Okay. There's one you mentioned that we need to first talk about. That is your professional network. This is something of inestimable value that I will encourage everybody to get involved. Now, it doesn't take too much to join professional bodies. You know, sometimes for somebody who is going very far in life, you need to invest. You need to invest into subscription-based organization. Like on LinkedIn, there are different networks that one can be part of. Some of these networks you have to probably, they are close-ended. You might have to pay some form of subscription to be part of it. I used to say to people, your network determines your net worth. Your network determines your net worth. So how the what you have is determined by the network that you are relating with. So the more you move with people who are also doing stuff in your area and outside of your area, you mingle with them, you discuss, you see a whole lot of things are being thrown into the space. They need this, they need that. In fact, sometimes at a professional level, you discover that there are limitless opportunity waiting for people to maximize. So please try before the end of the year, try as much as possible, make up your mind, join one group or the other. Now, becoming a leader, leadership is everything. Leadership is everything. If a nation is getting it right, it's because of the credibility of a leader. If an organization is getting it right, it's because of the team of leaders that are being joined. You know, there's a major difference between a manager and a leader. A manager, they will hand over stuff to the person and we manage it at that same level. But for a leader, when you give an assignment to a leader, someone who has this ability, who takes full responsibility for things that have been assigned to him, he will take it, you give him A or B, he will take it to A, B, C, D, even sometimes to Z. And so becoming a leader means working on yourself, improving on yourself. On these things are to happen on a daily basis. Taking full responsibility for your environment. You might not even be the boss. You might not even be the big guy in your organization. But leadership is all about taking responsibility, you know, taking that initiative, saying that I will be that guy who is going to add more value to these things. I will be that guy who is going to make this thing get better. Now, I can't have people around me who have such kind of mindset and I want to throw them away. No. I want to have people on my team that have leadership mentality, people that says, I am in here to take responsibility. I am not going to be a liability to this organization. When you have such people, or when you become such a person, oh my boy, people will definitely want to flock around you. So let's keep working on ourselves. How can I improve my leadership skills? By reading, by having a mentor, by looking at what other great leaders are doing. And basically, you read. As you keep reading, we are told that readers are leaders. The more you read, the more your capacity to lead is enhanced. The more you read, the more your ability, to deliver effectiveness and efficiency in the things you are doing, the more it is enhanced. So our leadership proposition, our leadership ability also help us to retain our job and to be more relevant in the workplace. Remind me the last one.
Okay, the last is avoid being a negative influence.
Yeah. In fact, for every of those things, I read a research work that says 85% of the reasons why people keep their job is because of their positive attitude. I'll repeat that again. I read it from the Harvard Business Review. 85% of the reason why people keep their job is because of their positive attitude. 85% of the reasons why people lose their job is because of their negative attitude. Now, so I said it before, attitude, not aptitude, determines your altitude. Attitude, not aptitude, determines your altitude. A number of people work on their aptitude. A number of people work on where they are going, forgetting that when you get there, aptitude will take you up there. It is attitude that will retain you up there. And so, in your workplace, please try as much as possible, don't be a negative person, a negative influence. Don't be that person that everybody points to and they see faults in the way you do things. Now, they may not understand you. That is different. But don't be that, like, forming a clique, doing gossip, doing negative things, short-changing the organization, taking what does not belong to you, living a kind of life that people look at and said, they put a question mark on the person's personality. Please don't be that. If you have all the best aptitude in this world, you have all the best certificate, you have all the best credential, and you have negative attitude, you won't stay long in any job. No matter how good you are, no matter how brilliant, no matter how exceptional. In fact, it takes more of attitude to retain your job than aptitude. Aptitude will give you the job. Attitude will help you retain the job. Don't be a negative influence on others. Be a positive influence. Be someone that people can look up to.
Okay, I do appreciate all of your points. Okay. The essence of breaking all this down is for us to get to understand. I'm sure some of us will say most of these points are being repeated. Yeah, in trying to answer one or the other, you tend to have a repetition. But like we have a popular saying that repetition strengthens memory. So we get to repeat it over and over again, and then our memory on that is kind of strengthened. You understand? The essence of taking this is because we have several questions, and I keep on repeating it that I do appreciate those questions. It makes me see that, yeah, you guys are really listening to this. You really go back and you listen, and I do appreciate it really. So, last week, when we started on the workplace mental health, we didn't know we're going to continue all through even this weekend. We didn't know it's going to go like that. We talked about the daily success strategies as well, and then the things that kill your career, and then went ahead to talk about protecting against unexpected job loss, which is what we just went through now. Okay, so I want to believe that we have treated most of our questions out there. Personally, I have a lot of questions too, but I want us to go on a quick sponsorship break, take like 2 songs, and then when we're back, I want us to quickly look at those ways we can build our personal brand. So we don't have to talk about someone sabotaging my career or my job. Like I said, no one can sabotage my career. You can sabotage my job, yeah, you can take it away from me, but you can tamper with my skill, my brand, and all of that. So we're going to be discussing that when we're back. Stay tuned.
St. James Gate Public House, located at 167 Maplewood Avenue, Maplewood, New Jersey. Proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. www.stjamesgatepublichouse.com. 973-378-2222. Best guest this side of the pond.
Avor Couture Clothing Line Boutique, proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. Located at 134 Evergreen Place, East Orange, New Jersey, Suite 904. Contact them via Instagram at Avor_Couture or www.shopavor.bigcartel.com.
Orange Juice Barn Outdoor Cafe, located at 189 Main Street, Orange, New Jersey. Proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. Instagram, orange.juice.bar. Smoothies, shakes, and health.
Bello Credit, specializing in collections, liens, bankruptcies, and foreclosures. Proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. Contact them at www.repair@bellocredit.com. Area code 631-248-4071. Financial freedom. Now that's Bello. Cannon Cigars, proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. You can visit their website at www.cannoncigars.com, Instagram at Cannon Cigars, via email, e-commerce at cannoncigars.com, and area code 212-390-8476. Fresh, discreet, right to your door.
Bad Intentions Tattoos, specializing in 3D and realistic tattoos. And don't forget the piercings. Proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. Located at 103 Broadway, Newark, New Jersey. Instagram at Bad Intentions with the Z _ 103 Broadway. Hashtag Bad Intentions.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned and holding it down with us. If you're just tuning in, which of course I want to believe that it's not. This is Nonfiction Radio, and you're on to Success Today. My name is Mary, in studio with Dr. King. Okay, so I said when we return, we'll be talking about the ways to build your personal brand, so you don't fall into any issues, anyone sabotaging, whatever. So want to start with that. I actually started with defining your brand. When I talk about defining your brand, I mean creating an image for yourself, you know. And then I talked about have a specialty, you know, having a skill that is relevant to your field and being vocal about it. And then we have here creating a blog or a website, you know. Don't forget, we're trying to build your personal brand. And then we talk about making use of social media, and then building your communication skills, and then doing good work and live your values. Okay, so we're going to be discussing this just to encourage someone out there, and then somehow answer every other question that has not been answered. So, Dr. King, want to look at ways to build your personal brand. So I start with define your brand.
Mm-hmm. And I think when you look at all of those fantastic points that you've written down, they actually summarize the things that we're talking about. Now, this is it. Your brand is what people perceive about you. I'll come again. Your brand is what people perceive about you. So, and perception is what people are buying in the market today. While you're working in an organization, you used to say to people, once you have discovered yourself, the beginning of your brand is self-discovery, is self-awareness, is looking inward, is looking at your specialty, the things that over time you find yourself you can do to add value to your life. How do we create products and services? The simple way to create products and services start with this brand identification. My name is Victor King, but behind Victor King is a brand. Someone who can write books, someone who is a motivational speaker, someone who organizes international conferences, someone who does quite a number of things. Now, the more I discover myself, that is the beginning of my brand identity. People identify me for what they know that I have exceptional skills for. And so, while I'm working in an organization, it is paramount. And why these things are not happening to many people is because they lose focus of who they are. We all need to have this self-consciousness about who I am. Who am I? Who am I? Why am I here? You know, I love people who spend more time, as much as they spend more time on their job, you spend more time discovering yourself. The moment you discover yourself, that is the beginning of your brand. The moment you discover, the moment you spend time to start discovering, this is who I am. This is who I am. Peradventure, it might not even have to be losing a job. Look at the world around us today. There are more than 7 billion people living on the face of the earth right now. These 7 billion people needs you. There is something unique about you that these 7 billion people look forward to. Now, you are an answer to somebody's question. You are a solution to somebody's problem. In fact, you are an idea going somewhere to happen. And so, you are in a place you're working, but you get back from to the house, you spend more time. Instead of spending more time watching the TV, watching the soap operas, watching all of those things happening on social media, spend more time, develop yourself, discover yourself, improve yourself. The more you do all of these things, the more you discover. There's what we call in a car, we call it shock absorber. When a car suddenly enters into a ditch, if the shock absorber is very strong, the impact on that car will not be felt. But if the shocks, the observers are weak, when it enters into a deep, a few things can happen. The car can capsize, you can lose your tire, you can have a major accident, and a whole lot of things. So let's turn it around and take it to be like the job where you are now. Let's imagine the company does not have a strong shock absorber, and something happened all of or suddenly, and everybody had to lose their job. So what do you do with your life? That is why we are talking about this aspect of developing your brand. I am in an organization. If anything happened right away now, because I spend time on myself, the confidence level is high. The ability to face the future is high. The ability to have a sense of direction is high. As much as I cannot do it all alone, I still believe very strongly that if anything should happen today, I can start a new life. And so, friend, what I want you to do, develop your brand. Spend time to discover who you are. Spend time to develop those things which are your skills, your talent, your gift, you know, your potential. Spend time on them. The more you spend time on them, look for platforms where you can even exercise these things. If you keep exercising it, sometimes you might have to start not because you want to earn money from it. Of course, you will go to that. But sometimes we may have to start like doing it and adding value to other people. This will create an exposure and an awareness. I have discovered something. Majority of the products that are ruling our waves today, they are accidental products. They are products, they are ideas that are developed by people who spend time discovering themselves. In the midst of doing this, opportunity came and they just gave birth to it. And so, peradventure, something might happen all of a sudden that may take away your job from you. If you have been working on yourself, you keep improving yourself, you keep developing yourself, your idea or your thing that you are developing within yourself may be the next $1 million breakthrough that is going to transform your life and transform the entire nation. That's my summary. Okay.
Yeah, in all of this, you touched defining your brand, touched having a specialty, and then somehow touched being on the social media, having your presence on the social media. But I want us to emphasize more on that, and then talk about building our communication skills. Yeah, I want us to emphasize more on that, and then doing good work and live your values. I want to. Before you speak, I want to say something about the social media. There's a lot the social media tends to do for us that we cannot do for ourselves. I mean, a whole lot. And if we know how to take advantage of things around us, in fact, I would rather take advantage of stuff like this than take advantage of a human being. So instead of wasting my time on some things that are not relevant to me or would not add any value to me, I'd rather just take good advantage of the social media. I mean, you can have a blog, you can have a blog and then or a website, anyone you want. What's most important is you take your brand out there. You want your own personal image to be felt. Don't forget that we are discussing this, talking about building your personal brand. We're discussing this because a few of us asked, what do you do if your career is sabotaged? And I'm like, no, you can't sabotage my career. You can't take away my skills. You can sabotage my job. You understand? I can have one wicked person somewhere, probably a colleague or something, and you try to tamper with what I am doing, or you try to go against me, but you can't go against my skills. I mean, no knowledge is lost. It's mine. You can never take it away. So, and then you can build your communication skills. Building this means reading a lot. You have to read a lot. You have to get yourself engaged with quite a number of things. And then when you want to take yourself out there, it makes it very easy. Like you get to quote some things. You get to talk about stuff. You act, like somebody who is so loaded. No. You're not acting like somebody who is loaded. You are loaded. So you are showing it to the world that, look, I am loaded. I have what it takes. I have what what the world needs, you know, which is most important. I mean, with that, nobody can take away nothing from you. It's in you. And at the end of the day, the same people who probably kicked you out begin to look for you. I read of a story of a guy who graduated poorly from school. Yet, at the end of the day, for his course project, he was able to build a drone. Now, because of his poor grades, you know, it's kind of conflicting, but yeah, it happened. And because of his poor grades, the school refused outrightly employing him because he felt, I could use this drone that I have built to get employment from the school. And since I know I have graduated poorly, nobody may take me and stuff of that nature, given the way the economy is in that particular country. And so, to my greatest surprise, he wasn't taken for the job. He wasn't given a job in that school. He graduated from the school, please, for crying out loud, and he built a drone as part of his course project. But he wasn't taken for the job. You know, along the line, somehow, somewhere, he got a very beautiful opportunity with a very big engineering company. And you know, under 6 months of his being there, he had done a lot for them, a lot of projects on ground that they're planning to kickstart. And you know, he had an interview with one of the dailies in that country, and he was, you know, reminiscing on some of those challenges he had and some of the bad areas and some of the stuff, aspects where he's been kicked out, places where he's been kicked out, you know. And he did mention his school. Now, in response to this, the vice chancellor of the school decided to respond and outrightly stated their regrets. It was outright. Stated their regret, like, oh God, we should have taken this guy. You know, I mean, look at all these projects on ground, what he's going to be doing. And now he can't even do it for his alma mater. He's doing it for another school. He can't even do it for his school. Now, it doesn't mean he hasn't been called to come and do it for the school he graduated from. I'm sure if he's called, he will willingly do it, you know, for the sake of giving back to the society. He will willingly do it. But, you know, they are not even bold enough to contact him because they feel bad, very bad about it. The vice chancellor didn't even hold back. He said it outrightly that we feel bad for not taking him. It was a great opportunity to encourage him. But then he added something. He said, peradventure, if we've taken him, maybe he wouldn't have gotten to this level that he is. You know, it was a really, really, really funny one and interesting at the same time because somehow, somewhere, I felt the same way too. Like, okay, so if they have taken him, if they have employed him in the school, he probably wouldn't have gotten more opportunities to do what he is doing right now with the engineering firm.
That's true.
So you see, somehow, somewhere, all things just work together for his good. Yeah, you know, initially it wasn't pleasant. Yeah, you know, when you start reading the story, you're like, oh my God, why he built a drone for them? Although he didn't graduate with good grades, but he was able to do this. Why didn't they just think about it? Maybe something affected his studies, affected his grades. It must have been this and that. Why didn't they just think about it and give him an opportunity? But you know, come to think of it, if he was given the opportunity, he would have gotten this bigger one in this engineering firm. And you know, so okay, so did I digress a little? No. Yes, I did, a little, but you know, I hope we've gotten something from that. So keep doing your good work, adding more value here and there to people, build your communication skills, do as much as you can. It's your brand, it's your brand. It can't be taken away from you. I mean, it can't be taken away from you. So I think we'll just round up here. I will have wanted us to discuss further on the other points, but I think we should just round up here so that we don't overstretch our time, because once we start, we may not finish in good time before we are to clock out. So thank you so much it's been 2 beautiful Saturdays. Last week and this, discussing this, I've learned a lot myself, because in trying to answer all of these questions, I have done a lot of research, a lot of reading. Yeah, you guys made me read. Like, seriously, I had to read. I had to try to understand. Someone asked the question, and I had to go check the dictionary. Like, seriously, what does that mean? You know, I don't want to come on air and disgrace myself. I mentioned the word, and if you're listening, you will notice that I didn't even use the word you used, because that is heavy. So I just went, checked the meaning, and looked for another synonym, and I used it. So thank you so much for all your feedbacks. It gives me a lot of encouragement, makes me know that, yeah, people are listening. You know, it's one thing to come and run a show. It's another thing to have people listening to you, so that it's not in vain. I don't want anybody sabotaging what I'm doing. Okay, so thank you so much. We've really, really enjoyed the sessions of workplace mental attitude, success strategies, building of careers, and all of that, do's and don'ts. And just like I've gotten something, I'm sure you've all gotten something. Okay, so next week, we're going to be revisiting one of our topics, which was in relationship, but this time around we're going to be talking about the effect of divorce. Yeah. This is actually coming as a result of a demand. Yeah, it's coming as a result of the demand, and we're going to be discussing this. Most likely we may have somebody coming in to talk on this, because he is actually the one who demanded this. So and he's been a major source of encouragement and inspiration to me personally, and he's been on the show before, and he'll be coming in again, and we're going to be discussing the effect of divorce. Yeah, we're going to go totally out of all this, our work, career, job, and all of that. Yeah, we're going to be moving away and talking about that, and I'm sure that we will all have, as usual, have something to learn from what we do here. So, okay, we'll take our sponsorship break, and then take some songs and close from there. So we'll be coming in again. Thank you so much. Thanks to the studio engineer and our managers and the management. Thank you, everyone. We do appreciate you. We love you all, and we'll see you next week.
Enjoy
This program is brought to you by Taxco Incorporated. They provide tax preparation, IRS resolution, accounting, business consulting, and wealth building services. Taxco has offices located at 1733 Springfield Avenue, Maplewood, New Jersey, 8 First Avenue, Bloomfield, New Jersey, and 293 First Avenue, Newark, New Jersey. The web address is www.taxco.co, and the phone number is 973-762.
What's up, New Jersey? It's your boy Murph, and I'm here on Nonfiction Radio to tell you about the best way to turn up whenever it's time to celebrate. I'm here to tell you about that Wavy Baby. Right now, we off that Wavy Baby drink. Make sure you visit www.wavybabydrink.com or follow us on Instagram at Wavy Baby Drink so you can try that blue pineapple, green apple, and peach passion flavor of Wavy Baby. Wavy Baby, don't worry about what's in my cup. No need for a chaser. Fill that thing up. Don't worry about what's in my cup. No need for a chaser. Fill that thing up. Wavy Baby.
Avoid Couture Clothing Line Boutique, proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. Located at 134 Evergreen Place, East Orange, New Jersey, Suite 904. Contact them via Instagram at avor_couture or www.shopavor.bigcartel.com.
Orange, Juice Bar and Outdoor Cafe, located at 189 Main Street, Orange, New Jersey. Proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. Instagram, orange.juice.bar. Smoothies, shakes, and health.
Golden Glow Cosmetics, specializing in handmade soaps and beauty cosmetics. Proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. You can follow them on Instagram at GoldenGlow_COS. Golden Glow Cosmetics, where glowing skin is always in.
Cigars, proud sponsor of WZYE 95.9 FM. You can visit their website at www.cannonscigars.com, Instagram at CannonCigars, via email, e-commerce at cannonscigars.com, and area code 212-390-8476. Fresh, discreet, right to your door.